Welcome to the Anita Inspires podcast. I'm your host, Anita. Today's topic will be changing mindsets. As you know, change impacts us in so many parts of our life, growing up to adulthood and facing global pandemics. Today, we're going to dive into the many ways change challenges us and how we can shift our perspective and embrace that transformation. As we grow up, we transition from being babies into adolescence, and then we are now teenagers, and we have more independence. Upon graduation, which is often seen as the big step towards your journey, teachers knew your name in high school and you had a close-knit peer group. But that changes once you transition into college and the workforce. Now there's 100 people in a classroom. There's so many people at your job. You're no longer having that one-on-one connection that you used to have with your teachers, as well as you will have with your employer. This is where change begins. Happy birthday, you're now 18. You are an adult. You now have the right to vote. Now, if you do anything illegal, the consequences are now charged as an adult. You now make big decisions about your future. Not everyone is ready with the responsibility right away. Some decide to go straight into college, while others decide to take a gap year and work or travel or volunteer. They explore different paths. If you decide to take a gap year, you are gaining real life experiences before you dive into a college career or an actual career that you want to pursue. For instance, some students decide to travel abroad and get all of the excitement, all of the perspectives, while they also save money for college, or if they decide to do a volunteer for the year where they give back to their communities. These experiences often help shape their futures and their decisions, and often are valuable because it gives them life experience that they can put on their resumes. It's the time to explore and have self-discovery, for many becoming a turning point for the change they seek. We now transition into our careers and what economical realities we're now facing as adults. We're now managing finances and building our careers, whether that's pursuing another college degree or we might just jump directly into working. Young people have to consider how they're going to support themselves financially. With the rising cost of money, of food, living in New York particularly, and having that dream of buying a house sometimes doesn't happen, especially if you have to pay your student loans. How are you going to reach that next dream that everyone wants? To have that home, to probably get married, to probably have yourself and your career established. It becomes harder. And these career choices are going to become a balancing act within what you want to pursue, and also having that passion, how you're going to pay your bills and how you're going to navigate all of those uncertainties. And that's another change that happens as you reach adult. This is where everything changed when the world stopped. COVID-19 hit. Many people lost their jobs during the pandemic. Gyms closed. People couldn't afford to pay their rents. People were trying to balance how they were going to pay their bills. That dream of owning a home kind of went out the window, and you were now counting your pennies to pay your bills and how that was going to be seen. It was an emotional time for everyone. But at the same time, that was a moment where if you were able to retire, you were one of the lucky ones that were able to have that financial stability. But others, we were grappling with everything closing around us. We couldn't go anywhere. Jobs were scarce. You basically were just looking for a job wherever you could find one. But at the same time, change happened. People started realizing their worth. People started asking for more money. People started changing and pivoting to other things, like creating workout videos on YouTube or on TikTok. That took a lot of people's income that was zero to, you can imagine what the amount was. Businesses pivoted to e-commerce online, and many who had lost their jobs were now entrepreneurs in new ventures. It was a period of mass innovations born out of necessity. showing how quickly we can adapt when the world around us has shifted and changed. One of the most painful and profound changes that we face is when we lose someone we love. The grief can turn your world upside down, and suddenly you're forced to adjust to that new reality without that person. The routines, those conversations, and the support that you once had are no longer there. And it requires a massive mindset shift just to keep going. When we lose someone we love, it's not just about missing them in that moment. It's about adjusting your whole life to their absence. For some, that might mean taking out a new role or responsibilities, while for others, it's learning how to cope emotionally and finding ways to honor their memory while they're still moving. Just like a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly, we undergo a profound metamorphosis as well. While we face that new reality, the infancy to adulthood, we evolve with every stage, adapting to the new roles and environments and relationship. And that still holds true when we experience that loss. That's a transformative period where the grief is often painful and it leads to growth and resilience. I'm going to share with you, I had a loved one who transitioned last week. We knew it was coming, but it still hit us when the day came that they were no longer here. I know she's in a better place with no illness and embraced in divine love. She was special to me and taught me so many things I didn't know, enlightened me in my spiritual path. Everyone's journey through grief is different, but this too changes your mindset. It forces us to adapt in a way we never thought possible because we feel they will live forever. I encourage you to videotape your loved ones telling you how much they love you. Tape them singing around you, even happy birthday that they can sing, or repeating your favorite line that they always used to say to you. You know that they are still around you and you will see them when the time is right. The grieving process is long, but remember that your love for them is eternal and never ends. Change will happen. You can accept it or you can keep fighting it. And I know it's going to be difficult, but it also presents opportunities for growth. I want you to imagine yourself as a butterfly, where you start out as a caterpillar and you're going through a transformative process. What if fear stops you from completing that process? How would you know how to fly? You would never know what it is to smell a rose. You will never feel the sun on your wings. When you resist change, you deprive yourself of all of life's things. Every change that you experience teaches us essential life lessons. Those challenges of those lessons of growing up and starting adulthood to grieving for the loss of a loved one. Just like the butterfly's metamorphosis, each stage of your life, from baby to toddler to adolescent to teenager and adult, is a more extensive journey that you are embracing yourself to for that change. Each change allows us to grow. It allows us to experience life fully, become the best versions of ourselves. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Changing Mindsets. I hope today's discussion has inspired you to embrace the change in your life with open arms. I know for some, change is very difficult and the fear holds you back, but I want you to know that change is good. That's how 1, we learn, 2, we evolve, and 3, we find the strength within ourselves to keep pushing forward. So keep flying and don't let fear hold you back from becoming that new butterfly within you.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. Like and subscribe to never miss a show. Leave me a comment if this topic resonated with you. And share it with your friends and family. Anita Inspires is inspiring you to be better.